Good morning. Welcome back to Twin Oaks Farm Poultry on YouTube. It's an early morning. We are catching chickens. That's a good example of what we try to avoid, but it happens sometimes. So I'm going to just hit the highlights of loading up chickens in the crates. We've got about 200 chickens here. My family, the 5 of us, we get all hands on deck about 3 in the morning to get chickens loaded because they need to be dropped off at our processor at 6:30 to 7:30 in the morning, and we're a couple hours away from there. So these transport crates fit 8 of these live chickens, usually the Cornish cross meat chickens. About 8 of them will fit in a crate like that at 6 weeks old. So the important things that we want to try to accomplish when we're loading them is to keep the birds calm. We don't want to turn it into a chase. We had all these heat lamps on. We've turned them off because bright light always stimulates chickens. So if you get it a little dimmer, you can keep it a little calmer. If we have to, if it would turn into a chase, we can turn off the overhead light as well. But we try to just work slowly and quietly in the chicken pen, and that usually keeps everything pretty calm. So we also try to avoid wing flapping while we're loading up the birds because, especially in meat birds, all that wing flapping accomplishes, it beats up the meat. So you don't want to beat up the meat, especially the chicken breast meat, on these broilers or Cornish cross meat chickens. So that's why you try to avoid wing flapping. There's different ways to pick chickens up. The way we prefer to do it is to get them around the front like that and hold the wings down to prevent that wing flapping. So if you hold them around the front with both hands around the chicken breast, just like you're seeing those guys do, that helps accomplish both of those things. So that's first thing. Keep it calm. Don't let it turn into a chase. Second priority is we want to prevent that wing flapping that we talked about. And the third priority is that we want to keep a good count. We're taking birds to the processor, so when we drop them off, we need to be able to tell the processor how many birds there are exactly, and also what cuts of meat we want prepared in our poultry order from the chickens that we bring. So we do sometimes we could maybe fit 9 in a crate. Generally, though, the birds are big enough we can't, but we stick with 8 in the crates for the purpose of counting, because when you're dealing with 200 or 300 birds, well, you'd be surprised how easy it is to lose track. So if we stick with 8, we can just multiply the number of crates that we have by 8. So we usually have a couple catchers and we have a counter, and then as the crates fill, they're taking them out and they're just going to load them into a trailer. This morning we're using a stock trailer. Sometimes we use a flatbed utility trailer, but and if you don't have a whole lot of crates, you can just put them in the back of a pickup truck if that works better for you. So thank you very much for joining us on Twin Oaks Farm Poultry. It's, like I said, early.